How many times have you started a diet, convinced it would finally work, only to end up frustrated, hungry, and back where you started? The problem isn't you, it's the system. Diet culture has trapped us into believing weight loss is the ultimate goal, but focusing solely on the scale often leads to burnout and unhealthy habits. What if, instead, you could build simple, sustainable habits that nourish your body, stabilize your energy, and help you feel amazing? This isn't about restriction or quick fixes, it's about understanding how your body works and making small changes that lead to lasting health and freedom. Ready to break free? Break free from diet culture, the hidden truth about weight loss. Close your eyes and picture this. You're standing in a massive maze, surrounded by glossy signs pointing in every direction. Each one promises the same thing: lose 10 pounds fast, or get the body of your dreams in 30 days. Desperate to find your way, you follow one sign after another, but every path leads to a dead end. Frustration builds. You feel lost, tired, and worse than when you started. Sound familiar? This is the world of diet culture. A well-oiled machine that thrives on keeping you trapped in that maze, chasing solutions that are designed to fail. Why? Because every failure makes you come back for more. More diets. More supplements. More magic promises. And the industry makes billions feeding on this endless cycle. But here's the plot twist no one tells you: the maze isn't real. The path out was never about following someone else's map, it's about understanding your body and working with it, not against it. Diet culture has one goal: to make you believe you're broken. That your cravings, your hunger, your weight are a result of you not being strong enough or disciplined enough. And when you fail, because, let's be real, those diets are designed to make you fail, you blame yourself. Not the system. Not the false promises. You. But let's take a moment to challenge that narrative. What if the problem isn't you? What if you're not the issue at all? Let's step out of the maze for a moment and talk about what really matters. Imagine waking up in the morning and not feeling like your day is defined by food rules or the number on the scale. Instead, you feel energized, focused, free. You're not constantly thinking about your next meal or battling cravings. Doesn't that sound like the kind of life you deserve? Here's the secret: weight isn't the enemy, and food isn't the villain. The key to lasting health and happiness lies in understanding your body's natural rhythms. Your body is a masterpiece of design, constantly working to keep you alive and well. It's not about punishing it with restrictions, it's about learning to nourish it in ways that make you feel amazing. Why glucose stability is the key to lasting health. Picture this: you're on a roller coaster, climbing to dizzying heights, the wind rushing past your face. For a moment, you feel unstoppable. But then, just as quickly, you're plummeting, stomach dropping, hands gripping the bar in panic. That's what happens inside your body when your glucose levels spike and crash, and it's happening more often than you think. Glucose, or sugar in the bloodstream, is essential for life. It powers our cells, fuels our brain, and keeps us going. But here's the catch: it's not just about having glucose, it's about having just enough. Too much or too little, and your body goes into chaos. When glucose levels spike, say, after a sugary breakfast or a snack filled with refined carbs, it's like hitting the gas pedal hard. Your energy surges, but it's not sustainable. Moments later, the crash hits. You feel drained, foggy, maybe even shaky. Sound familiar? Now, let's zoom in on what's really happening here. When you eat something that causes a glucose spike, your body responds by releasing insulin, a hormone that acts like a traffic cop. Insulin's job is to clear excess glucose from your bloodstream and store it away for later. It's a smart system, but there's a catch. When insulin is constantly on high alert, as it is with frequent spikes, your body gets stuck in fat storage mode. That means you're less likely to burn fat and more likely to feel hungry sooner. This roller coaster isn't just annoying, it's exhausting. You've probably felt it, those mid-morning crashes that leave you reaching for another coffee, or the 3 p.m. slump that sends you hunting for a snack. That's your body's way of saying, "Help! I'm out of fuel." But what it really means is that your glucose levels are on a wild ride. The solution? Balance. Keeping your glucose levels steady is like smoothing out the roller coaster into a peaceful, scenic drive. When your blood sugar is stable, your body feels safe. Your energy is steady, your hunger calms down, and those intense cravings? They vanish. You're no longer ruled by the thought of your next meal or the need for a sugary pick-me-up. And it's not just about how you feel in the moment. Stable glucose levels have long-term benefits that are nothing short of life-changing. Your brain works more clearly, your cells function more efficiently, and your risk for chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and even some cancers drops significantly. It's like giving your body the steady rhythm it craves to perform at its best. But how do you do it? For instance, starting your meal with vegetables acts like a shield, slowing the absorption of glucose into your bloodstream. Adding protein to your breakfast can keep you fuller longer and prevent those mid-morning energy dips. And something as simple as a 10-minute walk after a meal? It helps your muscles soak up glucose, preventing a spike altogether. Think of your glucose levels as the foundation of a house. If the foundation is shaky, everything above it feels unstable. But if it's strong and steady, the whole structure stands firm. That's what glucose stability does for your body. It creates a solid base for lasting health, so you can stop reacting to the crashes and start thriving in the flow. So, the next time you feel that roller coaster sensation, the surge of energy followed by the crash, take it as a signal, not a failure. Your body isn't betraying you, it's communicating with you. And the good news? You have the power to smooth the ride. Metabolic flexibility, your body's superpower. Imagine this, you're on a road trip, cruising through the countryside, and your car has two fuel tanks. One is filled with gasoline, quick and easy to burn, and the other with diesel, longer lasting and efficient. But here's the problem, your car can only use the gasoline. The diesel just sits there, untouched, no matter how far you drive. You're constantly running out of gas, stopping to refuel, and wondering why this trip feels so exhausting. Now replace the car with your body. That's how most of us are running, stuck on one fuel source, glucose, while ignoring the other, fat. And the reason? We've lost our ability to switch between the two. This is where the concept of metabolic flexibility comes in, and trust me, it's nothing short of a superpower. Metabolic flexibility is your body's ability to seamlessly switch between burning glucose, sugar from food, and fat, stored energy, depending on what's available. When you're metabolically flexible, your body can handle hours without food without panicking. You don't get hangry, shaky, or desperate for a snack. Instead, your body simply taps into your fat stores for energy, like switching to that second fuel tank, and keeps you going. But here's the thing, many of us have lost this ability. Years of high-carb meals, constant snacking, and glucose spikes have trained our bodies to rely almost exclusively on glucose. The result? You're hungry every 2 hours. You feel weak or dizzy if you miss a meal. You carry emergency snacks everywhere, not because you're planning ahead, but because you genuinely can't function without them. Sound familiar? The good news is that metabolic flexibility isn't some mystical trait you're born with, it's a skill you can rebuild. And the benefits are extraordinary. When you're metabolically flexible, your body becomes a dual-fuel powerhouse. You can enjoy carbs without being a slave to them. You can go longer between meals without feeling like you're running on empty. And best of all, you're no longer stuck in that constant cycle of glucose spikes and crashes. But metabolic flexibility isn't just about convenience, it's about survival. Think about our ancestors. They didn't have 24/7 access to food or supermarkets stocked with snacks. Their bodies were designed to adapt, burning glucose when they had just eaten and switching to fat when food was scarce. This adaptability kept them alive. It's also why metabolic flexibility is such a crucial marker of overall health today. So, how do you get there? The answer lies in stabilizing your glucose levels. Simple habits make a world of difference. For example, starting your meals with vegetables slows down glucose absorption. Incorporating healthy fats and proteins into your diet gives your body longer-lasting fuel. Simple, sustainable habits for real change. Let me tell you a secret: real change doesn't come from overhauling your life overnight. It's not about strict rules, calorie counting, or waking up one day and deciding, from now on, I'll be perfect. No, real change comes from the small, sustainable habits you can slip into your life almost effortlessly. Think of them as tiny ripples in a pond, quiet, almost invisible at first, but powerful enough to transform everything over time. Now, imagine this. You're sitting down to eat a big meal, maybe pasta, garlic bread, and a glass of wine. The carbs smell amazing, and you're ready to dive in. But what if, instead of starting with the bread, you ate a handful of leafy greens or roasted veggies first? Seems like a small detail, right? But here's what's happening inside your body: those veggies act like a protective shield. Their fiber slows the absorption of glucose into your bloodstream, preventing that massive spike and crash that often leaves you tired and craving something sweet after dinner. One simple tweak, and you've already changed the game. That's the magic of small habits. They don't require you to give up the foods you love or live in constant restriction. Instead, they work with your body, creating balance and stability. And because they're easy to do, you're far more likely to stick with them, making the change permanent rather than another fleeting attempt. Take breakfast, for example. Many people start the day with something sweet, maybe a bowl of cereal, toast with jam, or even a smoothie packed with fruit. And while those might taste good, they often set you up for a roller coaster of energy highs and lows. But what if, tomorrow morning, you tried something different? A savory breakfast, like eggs with avocado or Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of nuts and seeds, gives your body the protein and healthy fats it needs to stay energized and satisfied. And it doesn't stop there. Think about what you do after you eat. Most of us, especially after a big meal, feel like sinking into the couch and relaxing. But here's a tiny, transformative habit: instead of sitting down, take a 10-minute walk. It doesn't need to be fast or far, just enough to get your muscles moving. That small bit of activity helps your body use glucose from your meal more efficiently, reducing spikes and keeping your energy steady. It's a simple gesture, but the impact on your body is profound. What's beautiful about these habits is that they're additive, not restrictive. You're not told to eliminate carbs, ban sugar, or never eat your favorite foods again. Instead, you're encouraged to add these hacks into your life, when it's easy, when it fits, and when it feels good. And the best part? These habits start to build on themselves. Maybe you start by eating your veggies first. A week later, you add a savory breakfast. Then, you try that 10-minute walk after dinner. Over time, these small actions create a ripple effect. You feel more energized, your cravings diminish, and food starts to feel less like a battle and more like a source of joy. So, here's the question: what small habit can you start today? It doesn't have to be dramatic. It could be as simple as drinking a glass of water before your meal or swapping your mid-afternoon candy bar for a handful of nuts. Whatever it is, make it something so easy, so doable, that it feels almost laughable. Because that's how real change begins, not with a grand declaration, but with a quiet, consistent commitment to care for yourself, one tiny habit at a time. And before you know it, those ripples in the pond will have turned into waves of transformation, carrying you toward the life and health you've always wanted. Share this with someone who's ready to put these tips into action with you, and don't forget to check out our next video for more health and wellness insights.